Westmont head coach Kirsten Moore joining us after a 59-49 win over Freed-Hardeman University to advance to your first championship game out of the Fab Four.
Yeah.
Coach, just overall, just first thoughts on the game, and of course, in making your first ever national championship game appearance.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit surreal, I think. Even the girls on the bench, at the end or after the game were like, is this really happening? Is this really happening? But as much as it feels like that now, because we've been preparing on a daily basis, I think that we have put ourselves in a position to be able to rely on our execution even in the big moments, and that's what we've been able to do this tournament out here, and we've been able to rely on our defense in an incredible way. I mean, we're playing really, really good basketball teams. I mean, Freed was ranked #1 for a reason. They are a great basketball team, and they are capable of scoring a lot of points, and for us to be able to hold them to 49 points, it's just a testament to the perseverance our girls have had about playing the kind of defense that we know it will take, and then also getting it done on the boards. And I just looked at the stats, and we got out-rebounded by 1, but I consider that a win against that team and how good they are on the boards, and that was the #1 thing on our game plan, and defense was close #2 to how much we needed to rebound. So really proud of my girls' efforts for really getting it done on those 2 areas.
Of course, you had your senior leader and your young guard kind of step up for you offensively.
Yeah.
Esther, just like in the quarterfinals, had another long stretch kind of in the first half to give you the big lead.
Yeah, she did a great job in the first half, and even, we took Tooch out of the game for a couple of minutes, and we actually made a little run because we were able to get her leaked out in transition a little bit, and those were some huge buckets that she made, not only the threes, but the buckets in transition that loosened it up a little bit and gave us a little bit of a lead going into halftime, even with Tooch sitting out on the bench and letting her get a blow a little bit, because she's been going hard for a lot of days, what we all have here. So anyway, I mean, they're very capable of scoring a lot of points. Those players, as you saw tonight when they were open, they knocked it down. And I thought that some of our other players stepped up and hit some big shots too. Selena Gucci's hit a couple of really huge shots for us, and she's young too. She's only a sophomore, so I think we're following Tooch's lead and her leadership, and the fact that she's just a winner and she knows how to win and she knows how to help people around her win. And we bought into the belief that we really believe we can beat anybody, and I think we're showing that on a day-to-day basis. So proud of the effort.
Defensively, you talked about defense. Natalie Schumpert, one of the other big scorers in this tournament, held to 13 points, 6 of 23 from the floor.
Yeah.
Talk about that defensive effort.
Well, she's a great player. She's a great player, and so we knew that our defensive efforts had to be focused on her, and if we were going to have a chance to win, we were going to have to hold her to under her average at least, but to keep her from going off, which she's totally capable of doing, both from the perimeter and from mid-range and from all the way attacking the rim. And I thought that my 2 point guards did an outstanding job defensively on her, between Larissa Hensley and Erin Beadle. I think, you look at the stat line and see that she was 6 for 23 from the floor, and our goal was to make her work for every single shot that she took tonight, and that didn't mean she didn't make some, it didn't mean she didn't get some open looks, but we were going to make her work for it, and I think we did a great job.
All right. You have Lee University now.
Yeah.
Marty Rowe, like we talked in the semifinal press conference about the defensive battles that he's had in the past. Of course, you got to see the one a little bit before this game. This is the lowest scoring Fab Four in history of the tournament. Just what do you expect to see in this matchup?
It is physical out there. It is just gritty, the way teams are playing defense, and there's just really good basketball. I don't think it's that there's not good offensive teams in this Fab Four. It's that there's some really good defensive teams and some teams that are just really bought into playing great defense, and his team is outstanding. I don't know anything about them, and so I might not sleep tonight, but I'm going to try and figure it out by tomorrow with the quick turnaround. I do know he's a great coach, and they've got great synergy on their team. They play really well together, and I think that's what's gotten both of our teams into the championship game is the synergy that our teams have in playing with each other.
And like we've talked about on Sunday, both of your programs have significant stories off the court. Marty was one of the first ones to come congratulate you after. What did that mean to you as a coach?
Yeah, he's just a class act, and he has been supportive ever since he heard that my husband passed away. He's reached out to me and let me know that he's been praying for me, and I really appreciate that. And so many coaches from around the country that have been, pulling for us now. Not, when we step on the floor for the 40 minutes, we're going to battle, and I'm sure he's going to want to beat us just as much as the next. But I really appreciate just the way that the coaching community has come around to support me and our program, because it is something that our whole program is going through, not just me and working through, and so just so thankful for everybody.
All right. Any other questions?
Sure. Are you gonna?
You sure?
Keep going with that, or?
Sure.
All right. In the way your team moves the ball so extremely well, I didn't get to see the quarterfinal game, so knowing that you got bottled up and weren't able to score seems hard to believe, because you were so efficient tonight.
Yeah.
What was the difference?
Man, I still felt like buckets were hard to come by tonight too, but I'm not sure. I mean, maybe we're just getting used to it a little bit more. It was nice to be able to get in the arena today and do this is our first time we had a chance to do a shoot around in the arena and get used to that a little bit. And I think the longer we play here, the more comfortable we feel, with just the different backgrounds in our shooting and those kinds of things. We also have a fairly young team. I mean, other than Tooch and our point guard, Larissa, there's no one else playing significant minutes right now that played last year much at all, and so they were role players or they're new players that are coming in, and so I think every game we've been growing up, here in the tournament, and growing up fast, thankfully, and having people step up, and so that was why tonight, I think Selena Gucci's her game was a real X factor for us tonight.
And also, I guess I want to talk about your defense. The way you were so connected, every screen they set, you were bouncing from one to another. Just can you describe how your team plays so together defensively?
Yeah, I mean, I think our on the court just is a byproduct of what we work really hard for off the court, and it's something that I don't think that team unity comes easily. I think it's something you have to work really hard at. You have to work hard at every day, and it doesn't mean you're always going to agree. We've had some really hard moments on our team this year, but from the time I recruit players to the time they graduate, I talk with them about that's a non-negotiable in our program, is that even when there's differences or we're going through hard situations or disagreement about something, that we're committed to working through it until we're on the same page. And so, again, it doesn't mean that there's not ever going to be, differences or things like that, but the team unity and the fact that we're going to love each other regardless of what's going on, and we're going to work hard for that, and we're going to fight for that, I think is what allows us on the court to then also have, great teamwork out there.
And some of that has to stem from the coaching staff that you assembled.
Mm-hmm.
Can you kind of give the history of how all these talented people, how you really assembled all of them on your coaching staff?
Well, there have been some people joking this week that if the coaches could all play, that we'd have a pretty good shot at winning a national championship. That was like early on in this tournament. They've been saying, well, if the coaches all played against each other, we could win a national championship. Well, now the players are playing against each other, and we still have a chance. So that's exciting. But yeah, I have an incredible group of assistant coaches, starting with Selena Ho, who from my experience coaching Division I for as long as I did, I got to know a lot of great people, and she was one of the people that I got to know. She had coached at Oregon after I had, and then she was coaching at UC Santa Barbara, and when there was a coaching change there, I had the opportunity to snatch her up and have her stay in Santa Barbara. She loves the area. She loves being involved with her church there, and she's competitive, and we are great friends, and we wanted to see if we could try and bring our program to a national championship level, so I was able to get her on campus. And then I've had Megan Nico, who played at USC, and she's been with me now for 4 years, and she has just got a servant's heart. I mean, she just does all the things that nobody ever gets any credit for, but she works so hard, and then she's able also to really work. She was an incredible rebounder, and so we've been channeling her rebounding strengths this weekend as much as we can. And then in addition to our coaching staff, just this year is Emily Johnson, and she's played for the USA Basketball before. She was played at UC Santa Barbara, and so I had gotten to know her a little bit through Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and it was actually when my husband passed away that she had other plans for after when she graduated. She was going to go coach at another university, a Division I university, and after Alex passed away, she came to me and she said, I haven't been able to get out of my mind for the last week that I want to stay and help you this year if I can, and if you'll have me. And so thankfully, my athletic director, we've worked out some other things for her to do on campus as well, so that she could stay and help. And so, and then back home, someone actually who wasn't able to make the trip as well, Danny Russell, who was a former player of mine. She has helped this year. She's got another job that keeps her from getting on the road a lot with us, but someone who knows what it is to be a warrior, knows the foundations of our program of hard work and team unity, and those are the things that she's helped keep at the forefront of our program.
That's great. Just related to that, I guess, with budgets in the NAIA, to have a staff that big is kind of unusual to have that big of a coaching staff, isn't it?
Well, only a couple of us are really full-time coaches, so everyone else has other jobs. Yeah, I actually even have I'm only 50% coach, and the other part I'm the associate athletic director. So we all have a lot of things on our plate and wear a lot of different hats. Thankfully, right now we just get to be basketball coaches while we're out here, and so we're loving that.
All right, Coach, thanks for being with us, and congratulations.
All right.